Okay, so the first thing is that City asked, I think, what are different types of schema? So there are two types of schema that is there, snowflake schema and star schema. Usually, like these are the two main schemas that people generally talk about, right? So, what is snowflake schema and what is star schema, right? So, you we have discussed in the modeling tab, right? Like there are few dimensions table or lookup tables we call as, and there are few data tables or fact tables, right? The way we do modeling. So what happens if the model is built in such a way that there is a chain of dimension tables, you see? So what happens, there will be one data table, right? And then with that data table, one lookup table will be attached, and then there will be chain of lookup tables. You see, we have like product lookup table connected with returns, and then subcategory is not directly connected with returns because we don't have the primary key to connect with returns. So this subcategory is connected with product lookup, and then this product category lookup is connected with product subcategory, right? So this is creating like a chain of dimension, and then to filter the return table with the product category table, category lookup, that is also possible because these all are connected, right? So uh, a model in which we have one data table and chain of dimensions table, that kind of schema is known as snowflake schema, right? This is known as snowflake schema. And where we have one data table and multiple dimensions tables connected directly to data table, we call that as star schema, right? So let's say we don't have these two tables. We only have product lookup, territory lookup, calendar lookup, customer lookup, let's say. And then we have these data tables. So what happens? You have one data table and multiple lookup or dimension table directly connected to the data table. Then this particular kind of model or schema, we call that as star schema, right? And wherein we have like multiple dimension table connected to each other like a chain of dimension table and not directly to the data table, then we call that type of schema as snowflake schema. Okay. So this is like theoretical question that like interviewer might ask, but nothing to do with the visualization or the dashboard that we are building. This is kind of a theory that is there, right? So any question? Anyone?
So you said whenever the fact table is directly connected to all the dimension tables, then that's a star schema, right?
Yes.
And then when it's indirect, like, so this is considered a snowflake schema here, if we were
Yes.
to, okay, because some of the tables are not directly connected to
Yes.
the dimension. I get it. Thank you.
Yeah. So what happens like if somebody asks like what is star schema and what is snowflake schema, this is the actually the definition. And somebody if ask somebody asks like what are the differences, so you can tell that first of all in star schema the uh, star schema the fact table or the data table is directly connected to the uh, lookup table or dimension table, and here there will be chain of dimension tables, right? Then the other thing is in this one star schema, it takes less time for the execution of query. Like it will be little faster as compared to snowflake schema. As you see like in snowflake schema it's like chain. So firstly it will filter this, then it will filter this, then it will filter this. So as compared to snowflake schema, star schema is takes little less time for the execution of queries, right? So that is one thing that you can tell. Yeah, and then you can actually like these are the two things that is important, and then there are some other uh, mm, what we call differences, like this star schema is a top down model. Why we call it as top down model? Because from the top it will actually filter the data table, like basis on what filter context is flowing from top to bottom, so we call it as top down schema, right? Here while it is this star schema is a bottom up schema, although here also it's flowing, but then what happens is this is filtering like the category name. uh, Here we will apply filter product category, so then subcategory, uh, like if you apply filter here, product category, then the product category will come from this table. If you apply filter here for product lookup, then product category, then the product category will, like product subcategory will come from here. So these are like few of the differences that we call it as bottom up model. Snowflake schema, we call it as bottom up model. This is top down model, but these are like very small things. You can search on the Google and then you can actually go through all those differences, but nobody actually asks for all those, like tell me 5 differences or so. Like the main difference that you should remember, the first thing that I told is snowflake is this entire schema is snowflake schema, because we have like the chain of dimensions here, and in star schema there will be like directly all the dimension tables will be directly connected to the fact table. That's it, right? So, any question, City? You wanted to understand this, right? So do you have any question, or Aklilu, do you have any question?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah,
When
good.
we say stars, um,
Snowflake.
snowflakes
Yeah,
schema, so
yeah.
first we have to connect it with other lookup, and then how does that work? Like when we say indirect, it connects
No, first,
indirect.
no, first we have to connect, like, so let's say in a few dimensions tables, you don't have primary key to directly connect to the returns table, directly connect to the fact table, right? So in that case, what you will do, you will connect that dimension table with the other dimension table, and then that dimension table will be connected to the data table, right? So if that is happening while creating a model, that means the schema that is there in your model is snowflake schema, right? Because so for snowflake schema we don't have to connect like this. If in your data set you don't have that primary key to directly connect to the data or fact table, then the the approach that you follow to basically create these relationships uh, is called as like snowflake schema, because in this what will happen, it is creating a chain of dimension. There is no direct connection between, like although this thing will filter the return table, because we have relationship existing between product subcategory to product lookup and product lookup to returns. But since there is no direct uh, uh, relationship created between subcategory table and returns table, since we don't have that primary key in the subcategory table to connect it to the return table, so this type of schema that we have created is known as snowflake schema.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So then we
Question.
have some. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you said like if there's no primary key. So if you have unique key, that unique key acting as primary key, right? So
Correct. Correct. Unique key is primary key. So this table has unique key, right? Product category key is unique key. But this primary key or unique key that we have is available in product lookup table, right? We have product key in here in product lookup table that we have product, not product key, one that we will have product category key here somewhere. Product, sorry, product subcategory key. So in product lookup table, we have product subcategory key through which we have created a relationship. If I do this, it will highlight product subcategory key is connected to product subcategory key which is acting as a primary key for AW product subcategory key, right? This product subcategory key is primary key for AW product subcategory key, using which we have connected this product lookup. So so product subcategory key is foreign key. Foreign means you have multiple instances of subcategory in product lookup, but this is unique in product subcategory. Product subcategory key that you see is having distinct values or unique values in the product subcategory key. So that's why this is called primary key in product subcategory key. But you don't have product subcategory key in returns table. So you should have product subcategory key in returns table to basically connect with the product AW product subcategory table, right? But you don't have that. You have product key, and that's where we have connected AW product lookup directly with AW returns. So in the case wherein you don't have a primary key to directly connect to the data table or fact table, then you create a relationship in such a way that it is connected, like two dimensions table are connected with each other. So that type of model we call it as snowflake. Like that schema we call it as snowflake schema. Is it clear?
I have a question.
Yeah, Aklilu, is it clear? You
Yes.
can ask.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Anand.
What's the difference between dimension tables and lookup tables?
Both are same. That's why I was telling either dimension or lookup. You can call
Oh.
data table or fact table. Both are same. Somebody calls it as lookup table, somebody calls it as dimension table, but both are same. Just the different name. Is it clear?
Yeah.
One more question.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, in our modeling view, if possibly we can make like a relation with parameter which we'll create on the report side, but I see like the parameter which I create on report view shown in the model view.
Yeah, that sorry, can you come again? The parameter that you have created in report view?
Yeah, shown in the model view too. So it's,
It is showing in the model view too. That's what you are saying?
yeah. So
Yeah.
I can make like a relation to others. So.
No, I'm not getting it. First of all, tell me like what kind of parameters have you created? Have you created parameter that we discussed yesterday, or have you created some other parameter? There are like two types of parameters that we can create.
No, yesterday we did yesterday. I did yesterday.
Yeah.
So I don't know, for some reason I think on model view that's things.
Yeah, so you will see that in model view, and I think I will also have that in model view,
Yeah.
right? Why?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you why. Why? Because I told you whenever you create a parameter, right? Then there will be automatically a table will be created at the bottom for that particular parameter, right? So if a table is created for that particular parameter, that table will show up in the modeling view, right? Because in this modeling view, we have multiple tables that is existing inside this dashboard, and then we have created the relationship, right? So since this table is automatically generated as soon as you create a parameter, that table will appear over here. So you don't have to directly actually create relationship in here. How we are using this? We are using this value in measures. We are using this value in measures and then we are connecting it with each other, right? So that is fine. Like if this is appearing in your modeling view, that is fine. This is how it works.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But do
So
you have to
since
create a relationship between the rest of the tables?
no, you don't need to create relationship
Okay.
between the rest of the table because you connect it to different tables using the measures that we create. So we create measures in such a way that we use this value and then you can actually basically control the other charts, but you don't need to create a relationship over here.
Oh,
Any questions? Any more questions?
One more question for me.
Yeah.
So, what's the difference between bookmark and page navigation?
Yeah. So can I take this question little later? I will actually finish the things that we thought of covering today, and then we will do that.
Okay.
I'll take this question, but let me actually finish whatever we have discussed, and then we will discuss this one. Okay.
Got it.
I will actually mention this question for you. 1 minute. Let me write bookmark and navigate. What did you ask? Page navigation that is there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I will talk about this. No issues. Okay. So then we have something. Yeah. The second thing is pivot and unpivot. I think Hanan, you asked yesterday. So again, these are the things why we have not discussed because these are not required like every time, and these are like very small concepts which we can discuss right now, but that is not mandatory kind of thing. So I'll show you like how it works. Actually, let me close this. So first of all, pivot and unpivot, right? So uh, let me actually pull one data set and then I will show you. So get data and then okay. So let's say we have this data in here, right? In which we have unit sales and total revenue here. And under in columns, we have year 1994, 1995, 1996, 1997, 1998, like this. And we have few values. Let me actually transform this. Yeah. So this is a table, right? Now, why first of all we don't have header right in here because what happens the Power BI here since 1994 is also numeric and this is also numeric, so basically it treated it as a numeric value and thought that there is no header, and that's why like the header is not available over here. So first of all let's have like the use first row as header under home tab. So now it is coming like this. This is a table, right? Wherein all the years are in column and then unit sales and revenue is in rows, and these are the values, right? Now, pivot. What do you understand by pivot? Pivot is a process of turning these distinct rows into columns, right? So let me actually do it and then show you. So right now how it works is unit sales and total revenue is in rows and these years are in columns. So the way, let's say you want all the years in rows and the unit sales and total revenue in column. So for that, you need to actually do this, use this option known as uh, pivot, right? So now I will go here under transform, and there's something called pivot column, right? So what I will do, I will select all these. Either you can select all these years, or you can select the value that you want to actually transform it. So right now I want to move this unit sales and total revenue from here to top, right? So what I will do, I will select this unit sales and revenue, go to transform and pivot column, right? So press OK. So what happened? 1 minute. Close this. Let me actually do this once. So basically, pivot is turning distinct rows into columns, and unpivot is turning columns into rows. That's how it works, right?
Okay.
That is what happens in pivot and unpivot. Let me actually. Yep. So basically, what I said, pivot is turning rows into columns, and unpivot is turning columns into rows, right? So 1994, 1995, 1996, all these years were in column earlier, right? So what I did, I selected everything and clicked on unpivot. So unpivot, what it did, it converted columns into rows, right? Now you want, but still there is something called attribute and value. I don't want like this. Why? Because I know that there is something called unit sales, and these belongs to unit sales and these belongs to revenue, right? So I want unit sales and revenue in column. So right now you have the unit sales and revenue in rows, and you want to convert this to column. So moving rows to column means you want to pivot it. So I will select this column and then click on pivot column, right? Values column, attribute. Okay. Sorry, this is something I'm actually not doing correct. Pivot column, and under values column, we have values. Sorry. Yeah. So what does this mean? This means that you want to move unit sales and revenue. You use the names in column to create columns. That is their names. You want to create columns. Now you want to replace this value column with unit sales and revenue, or you want to replace attribute column with unit sales and revenue. So I know that unit sales and revenue is values, like you have to replace this value to the unit sales and revenue. So you have to select either attribute or value. So I will select value over here and click OK. So what happens? There is now attribute column in which you have years, then you have unit sales and total revenue, right? So this is something that we wanted. And now you can edit this attribute to year. This is basically year. So now this is a table that is there. So what we did, we actually used pivot and unpivot options that is there. Unpivot to convert columns into rows, and pivot to convert rows into columns. So the way you transform your table from rows to columns and columns to rows, we call it as pivoting or unpivoting, right? Any
Thank
questions?
you.
Okay. So yeah, I think this was a small concept. And then what was the other question? Import and direct mode, right? So let me actually close this. I don't want this in my this. Or maybe I can have this. I'll share this with you guys. You will have. I'll not create any relationship. Okay. So you will just see if I share this with you. Okay. So now import mode and direct query mode, right? This is like small definition over there, nothing to show in here in the dashboard. I'll just talk about it. So import mode is something wherein whenever you do the get data, right? Uh, I think, yeah, I can tell you this dashboard that we have created, we have actually imported the data inside the dashboard, right? Inside the Power BI. So if you are importing the data inside the Power BI, your data resides inside the Power BI, we call that as import mode. So in import mode, it stores the data inside the Power BI, right? And direct query mode, in direct query mode, you will have direct connection with live database. So right now what we are doing, we are doing get data, and we are actually selecting Excel workbook and importing it inside the table, Excel workbook or like CSV. But in direct query mode, what you will do, you will actually connect it to some database, SQL Server or something like that, or Oracle. So in that, you will have live connection with database. So as soon as you change anything in your database and refresh, that thing will appear in your this dashboard. Because what will happen, since there will be live connection with your database, whatever change you will make in database and refresh here, that change will start appearing in the tables over here, right? So that is known as direct query mode. Now compared to direct query mode, import mode is little faster, all the processing and everything. This import mode will be fast compared to direct query mode, because in direct query mode there will be live connection, so it will be little slower. But in import mode, since your data will store get stored in the Power BI itself, so it will directly take it from here, and then you can like quickly uh, pull any of the fields, and then it will run little faster, right? So direct query mode is fast compared to this one. Import mode is fast compared to direct query mode. But if data is less than 1 GB, and you don't need to continuously change the data, that means, let's say most of the data is uh, static kind of thing, like your calendar lookup is not changing, territories lookup is not changing, and AW returns is also, you don't want to refresh every month or like that, and there's like fixed kind of data, your data does not continuously change, then use import mode. Otherwise, if the data is, you have to refresh your dashboard every week, weekly dashboard or monthly dashboard kind of thing, and you are creating through so in that case you create it the live connection, but there is little drawback that it will be little slower, right? So these are the pros and cons of data direct query mode and import mode. Any questions, anyone?
Which one, which option does not allow you to be able um to query, like, or make any changes or something? I remember, I don't know, maybe like either Aklil or
That is
Sushi.
separate. I don't know why you are getting confused between uh, the visualization and this import mode and direct query mode is related to the data part, like whether you want to refresh your data every time or you don't want to refresh your data every time, right? If you don't want to refresh your data, and uh, so again in import mode also, you can
One
okay,
more question.
um just a moment, let me finish this. So in import mode, what happens, you have pulled the data, and that data will get stored, that cache will get stored in Power BI, right? So it will be little faster. In direct query mode, you will not connect it with the static workbook, Excel or like that. There will be live connection with the database that is there, SQL Server, or let me actually show you the databases. So in the case wherein your connection of the dashboard is with the database and you are not importing any of the fixed Excel or CSV or like fixed workbook text, then that is like then it is like direct query mode. And if you are importing it, then it is import mode, right? Now, what was your question, Hanan?
I was trying to ask, either one of them won't allow you, you're not able to make any changes because is it the import
Not any
mode
changes where? Not any changes in what?
on the data that you are importing, I guess. I'm not sure, but I remember a concept like that where I've heard, I just can't remember. Like I took this class like almost a year ago, and
Mhm.
it was like I don't know, maybe one of them you're able to, I'll have to look it up, maybe like go back to my notes or something, but I know one of them you're not able to um make changes, or you can't um I'm sorry, I probably need to get my questions correct. I'll come back. I'll email it to you and see
Okay,
if you
sure.
can help me with
No
that.
problem.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah. Then we can look into it. So that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, Aklilu, go ahead. Ask. What was your question? Aklilu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Okay.
Yeah.
I trying to ask about the refresh. So if you like, if you wasn't refresh the report, so how we can update in the new created?
Sorry, I didn't get it. If you want to refresh your report, then
Now, if you're working on the report, so if you wasn't the report, if you wasn't refresh it,
Mhm.
so how you come your report is updated, even you
Okay.
write on it or do anything.
No, so there are something called you can schedule the refresh. So there is something called data scheduling, wherein you will schedule like every day or every 1 week or monthly, like what kind of your report is. You want to uh, refresh it, right? So you will set that scheduling, and then at that particular time data will be queried from your data source, and it will automatically get up to dated information, right? And the report will be refreshed, so that you don't need to do manually. There's something called data scheduling. You can do it in Power BI service, and it will get refreshed automatically.
Okay.
Yeah.
can you repeat that, please?
So I'm saying you don't have to refresh it manually. Like if your dashboard or the report has to get refreshed every week or every month, depending on what kind of dashboard you have created, weekly dashboard, monthly dashboard, quarterly dashboard. So you can schedule that refresh. So what happens at that particular scheduled time, your data will get refreshed with the most updated information that will be there in your database, and your report will get refreshed automatically. And that data scheduling you can do in Power BI service.
Okay. So just to make sure that I understand the difference between direct query mode and import mode, when you're
Mhm.
doing import mode, you get the data from Power BI, like it's already stored in here, like so we can get it in the form of, I don't know, CSV file or
Mhm.
um, whatever. And then you, like we've been doing the same thing, right? That's called
Mhm.
import mode. The way that we've been
Correct.
doing it is considered okay.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
whenever we're doing the direct query mode,
Yes.
okay, that one is when you get it directly from a data source like a database. you
Correct.
said?
So direct query you can understand as live connection. That means if you change your database, your this thing will get impacted because there will be live connection.
So without you doing anything on the dashboard here, because it's directly connected to the data source, it will update automatically any changes that you make, right?
Yes.
So does that also work vice versa? If you make any changes on the
No, no, no.
dashboard here, will that impact your data set, like your data source? Like say the
No,
SQL
no,
Server
that
database
no,
you have?
no, that won't happen. So this visualization that you have created is basis on the data tables, like the tables that is there, the data that you have pulled, right? So this visualization will only dependent on the data that is there. So whatever data is coming from your database, using that you can create visualization. Now what happens, let's say you pulled instead of start of month, I pull start of week. So that won't hamper your database, right? Because this is a product, this visualization is using the data to create the charts, right?
Yeah, but you said it's a live connection and that
Yeah.
anything that you do on the dashboard, if as
Can
long
you
as the
give an
data gets
example?
updated.
Can you give an example like how it will impact the other way?
So what I was saying was, for an example, you see, like it's if we're directly connected to the data source, say the SQL Server database that we have, and
Yeah.
we created these like on the field side, the AW calendar lookup and all of that stuff. So if
Mhm,
we were to delete any of the like the lookup tables here, for an example, the AW calendar lookup,
mhm.
will the date like from the data source, like SQL Server database, will that get impacted because we just deleted something here and it's
No, that won't
directly
impact.
connected
That won't
live
impact the
connection?
database. No, that won't impact the database. Yep.
But anything that gets changed on the database side will impact our data, I mean, our
Yeah, so
report.
in database, you will have hundreds, thousands of tables, right? So whatever 6 or 7 tables or 10 tables, whatever tables you have used in your report, if any changes is happening in those tables, then this dashboard will get impacted. If changes in the database is happening in some other table which you have not used, nothing will happen in your report. Right? So if the tables that is there in database, you are using it in your report and any changes happened in that database, then your report will get impacted.
But if you delete any of the anything on this on the report side, it does not
Nothing
impact
will
anything on
happen.
the data
No,
side.
no, no,
Okay.
that won't happen. Clear?
Yeah, it's to me. Thank you.
I have
Okay.
a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, get data and import mode is the same thing, right?
Yeah, get data is a option that is there using which either you can connect it with Excel workbook, or you can connect it with SQL Server, or you can connect with CSV, or you can connect with blank query. So get data is an option. Now you want to get the data using SQL Server, which is like the direct query mode, or you want to get data through Excel workbook, which will be permanently sitting it on in your dashboard. These are the different options, right? But the get data part is an option that is there which helps you to basically connect to a different data source. Did I answer your question?
So no, well, my question is,
No,
so
get data is why are you comparing get data with import mode? Get data is a option that is available in home tab, which you will click, then you will get options to connect to different data sources, right? Now, the different data sources could be Excel workbook, that could be Power BI data sets, that could be SQL Server, that could be anything, right? That means using get data option, you can connect to either live connection, that is like the server or database, or you can connect it to the CSV or text file, which will sit in your dashboard. So you can't get data is an option. You can't get using get data. You can have connection with the live you can have live connection also, and you can have like directly import data in your this thing dashboard also. So get data is not equivalent to import mode. Get data is an option which will help you connect to different data sources.
So
Is it clear?
yes, it is. So when it's import mode, we
Mm-hmm.
can save it the data on our desktop, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
so it is no. So even though you can save data sets in your not you can save the dashboard in your uh, desktop. You can't save data set in your desktop, but that data set will be. Oh, are you telling Power BI desktop? Sorry, I got confused. I thought your laptop desktop. Yeah, so basically what happens whenever you import data set using Excel, so in the Power BI, this file that you see, PBIX, inside this file, the data will be stored inside Power BI cache. So you are right. Actually, you were right. Sorry, I got confused. You were right. You continue. Like you were saying something, right? Your understanding is correct.
okay, now what I'm saying is when it's import mode, we can
Mm-hmm.
save the data in our desktop, like in
Hmm.
our Power BI desktop.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So when it's come direct mode, we cannot save it, right?
Correct.
Okay, and also is direct mode and live mode is the same thing, the same, or
Yes. Yes.
thank you,
That is same.
thank you.
No problem. Any more questions?
One more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we use the import mode, we have our data set has to be only 1 gigabyte,
Yes.
or
Yeah, if it's less than 1 GB, then you use import mode. Yeah.
what about it's uh,
If it's more than
above
1 GB,
above
yeah, if it's above 1 GB, then you don't use import mode. It won't actually, your dashboard will be very heavy and all those things. So you have to actually use some other mode that is live
direct.
connection. Yeah, direct.
So in direct mode, do we have any limitation, or we can use
1 million rows in,
one?
yeah, direct query. In import mode, maximum size should be 1 GB.
Okay, thank you.
Any more question?
So when we have one more question, so when we have huge data, we have to choose direct
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
mode.
you are right.
Thank you.
I got a question.
Yeah.
When we import data, we have like import from app sources and from our file. So what do you mean like in app sources?
Up sources, I don't know. Like, what is up source?
Yeah, from application.
Oh, app source. Okay, okay. Yeah. So, 1 minute. Let me actually see. Mm, which particular options you are saying? App sources is also again you are actually importing it from outside, right? Which one you are saying? File database. App sources. So which exact? Can you tell me? Like, uh, not
Just
sure.
close this one. Close it.
Close it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You need to go to more visualization. Next to
More
text.
visualization. Okay.
Next to text. Just open that one. No. Up next to the text. Up. So down.
Down.
All the way top.
Top.
Yeah. Okay.
More visuals.
So open that one. You see like it's from import data from. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, don't get confused with it. This more visuals is basically inside the visualizations, right? Right now, this is a default visualization that you have: bar chart, column chart, all these things. These are default. Now there are few more visualizations that is there that you can actually pull in, right? So there are two options: from my files and from app sources, right? So from app sources means there is if you are actually logged in. Right now I'm not signed in, right? So if you are logged in, if you have that Power BI like some organizational mail ID through which you can sign in, then you can have option to go to the app sources, wherein you will have like multiple charts, multiple visualizations available, right? And you can actually import those visualizations in here, so you can actually add few more visualizations that is out there. So there are hundreds of visualizations that is available in there, and you can import those visualizations over here in your uh, desktop.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I think, yeah, we are over time. So let me actually finish those things, and then yeah. So what else we have? So Power BI service, I won't be covering in detail. Power BI service, for now, you can just understand that Power BI service is a place wherein you can actually uh, uh, upload your dashboard, and therein you can set uh, all those security, like basically who will be your target audience and to whom you can share the dashboard, and how to, if you want to schedule your dashboard that you have uploaded, you can schedule the time to refresh. So those things you can do in Power BI service. And using multiple dashboards that you have uploaded, you can also create a report kind of thing, in which, let's say, you have like these many visualizations over here, right? And there you have, like, let's say, another dashboard also where you will have multiple visualizations. So if you want to pick one visualization from this dashboard, few visualizations from other dashboards, so in Power BI service there is an option where you can create your own, under my workspace you can create your own dashboard using the visualization from different dashboards. So I can take one dashboard, one visualization from here and pin it in that dashboard. You can have like one visualization from this page and pin it in that like in that dashboard. So basically you can create your own dashboard from like over there also. So that is also an option, but usually in Power BI service what we do, we use that Power BI service to publish the dashboard that we have created, that we have discussed, and share it with your targeted audience, or like clients, customers, whoever, right? So that is regarding Power BI service. For now, you just know this much thing. Now, how to do it, what to do it, we will not go in detail because I don't have that access also, and that will take a long to actually discuss everything about the Power BI service part, right? So I'll talk about this much regarding Power BI service. Okay. And you can do that using this publish option. So if you go here, do publish. I can't do it right now because I don't have that platform like .com where I can actually publish this dashboard, but you can do that using this option, right? The publishing part, like how you will publish. So you can go to publish, and then you can actually give the link and all the credentials and everything. So you can actually publish your dashboard to the Power BI service, right? So that is all about the Power BI service. Then one important thing is parameterized video. Uh, okay, so I'll quickly cover that. But again, Hanan, I think these are like a very less used concept, or you can say concept is right, but we very less used options that is there in the dashboard. Usually people don't use all these things. So that's why, but I'll talk about it. So basically yesterday we discussed about one of the parameters that we have created, right? So there are multiple parameters that you can create. To in two ways you can create parameters. One is using the slider that we have created, and this is used to basically have mm, scenario testing, right? So we used this parameter to do scenario testing, in which you like, why we call it a scenario testing or forecasting, you can say, like we use this kind of parameter for forecasting or scenario testing, because according to your need, you can adjust the price and then you can see how your profit will be having. So you are testing different scenarios by sliding this higher or lower, and then you are seeing like how it is impacting your chart, right? Then there the other thing, the other parameter, this is what if parameter, right? Now the other parameter that is out there is the one that you were telling, right? So I will show you like how it works. So I'll go to edit queries, basically transform data. Uh, Under transform data, what I will do, there is something called manage parameters, right? So what it will do is, if you create a parameter over here and apply that in here, so the data set that will go into your dashboard will get filtered. It will get filtered and the filtered data will go into your dashboard, right? So I'll show you how it works. Under manage parameter, you can create a new parameter, right? And oh, this is, I think, the one that we have created in the first page, right? So this is parameter 2. Let's say I create something called first name. Okay. And under type, you have to put some type, like what kind of, whether it's decimal, date, time, text, all these things, right? So right now, since first name is there, I will put it as text, right? Then suggested value, I will put, let's say, list of values. You can have either any value, like current one particular value, or you can give list of values, like you can import, like basically provide multiple values, or you can have like query that will pull, like you can write SQL query or something like that over here, right? So let's say I put here list of values. So under first name, we have, under customer table, we have first names, right? So let's say I put like two name, one is John and the other one is Michael. Okay. And the default value, let's say I make it as John, and current value also I make it as John, right? The two value I have added, and then I press OK. So as soon as you create this, no, you will see that there is one uh, parameter will be created with the value, current value John, right? So now what happens if you go to customer lookup, okay, and you go to first name, uh, so you can use this parameter to basically filter this entire data set, right? So right now you have multiple first names over here, John, Eugen, all these things, right? So let me actually, yeah, okay, that's fine. So this is right now you are having all the first names. What you can do, you can apply filter over here, equals, and then filter rows equals. I will not write any value under, like I will not select anything. What I will do, I will use parameter to basically filter your data set. So I'm filtering the parameter, using the parameter to filter the first name, right? Now, um, okay, and then you will press OK. Okay. So what happened? John came. Why? Because the current value we have set up is John. If I change it to Mikal, what will happen? Under customer lookup, you will see the database automatically got changed with Mikal. How? Because we have filtered this entire data set using a parameter that we have created, and the parameter we have created is under first name we have given, okay, these are the 5 options using which I want to filter this data sets, right? So whatever current value you will give, using that current value, your backend table will get filtered. So it has got filtered. Now, if I close and apply, and actually create I will show you like how it works. So let me actually create a matrix and pull customer name, full name. Where is customer? Let's say
Miha,
it's, yeah.
I'm very confused right now. In fact,
Mhm.
can you just use instead of the name, can we just use the date, like the month, quarter, and all that stuff, or one of them to create the parameter? Because this whole thing just confused me. I didn't get not one of what you just did right now with regards
Oh,
to the.
so what is the confusion? Let's discuss
But I
that
don't
now.
see the point. And what was the point of even creating that parameter? Like, why did you need to create a parameter just
So that's
to
what
say the
the my
name?
so why I have used full name here, because I wanted to tell you this, that using parameter is very difficult. It's better to use filters instead of parameters, because right now what we are doing using parameters, we are actually filtering the data set and passing that data set inside your model, right? So people don't prefer using parameters. Parameters is used to basically if you see here, edit parameter is basically to filter your data sets, filter any of the visualization. If I do Michael and under full name in this one, you see all the full name will come according to the Michael, right? So that thing you can do in your filters also. So there is no need to actually create parameters, right? We don't use, nobody will go here under transform data, go to edit parameters and change the parameters, even though I create date parameters, and inside the that parameter I will pass like 10 dates, right? So you will not go here and edit dates from here and filter your data sets, right? If you want to do that, you can go to the filters and do that. So that is much easier as compared to creating a parameter and then passing it in here. Just the, it's better to use filters instead of parameters. That's what I wanted to tell. And that's why I use this full name to show you like how it works. Both will work in the same way. Whether I take date or whether I take other column, like other values, other fields to create parameters, right? So
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The parameters, people see, parameters is created to basically filter your visualization or filter your data sets. Now, instead of using parameters, you can use this filter option that is out there to filter your data sets. So instead of using parameter, people won't prefer going to transform data, edit parameters and filtering your this thing, any of the charts, right? People will always prefer this filter option. So that's why I'm saying don't worry about all these small things like this video, that video. These are like very rarely used things which people don't prefer, and we don't suggest to use it in your dashboard if you are creating, right?
Yeah,
I
but
just
I've
want,
been asked in a couple of interviews, and I thought, it's always better to know about it than just saying it's not that important. I
so
don't need it.
what
You
type of
never know.
question they ask? Can you tell me what type of question? In interviews,
Yeah,
anyways, they
how
ask
you
like lot
create,
of questions, 100 questions. You don't need to answer everything. But yeah, tell me like what kind of questions they ask.
how do you create parameters using dates like month, quarter, week, and all that stuff? And what are they used for and things of that nature? Yeah, but you don't always have to know everything. You're absolutely right. But one thing I've learned is that whenever you're doing interviews, if the minute that you come across one thing that you don't know, then they start to question you more and more and more because they start to doubt that, oh, okay, she doesn't know about
Yeah,
this. They don't
you can
say,
directly tell that we don't use parameters in your in our report. Although I know like the how to create parameters, we can go to your data set. Like you can go here. I told you right, like how to create. You can go here. There is an option called manage parameter, wherein you can go and create new parameters, pass in the values. If let's say you want to create date, right? So you can go here under required. You will choose the date time. You can give the selected values, like for the date time, let's say you pass like 10 list of 10 dates, and then you create okay, and that will create a list of parameters which will help you filter the data set. That's it. That's what you need to tell them, nothing else. So if you want exact answers for each of this, we can discuss it in interview. Like if we prepare like interview questions and all those things, we can do that. But you just need to know like basics, 2 3 liners, like how to do it. If they dig deeper inside something that is very rare or not that widely used, you can just tell that I know the concept, but I don't use that much frequently. So I know how to create it and all those things, but I think instead of using parameters, we can use filters to basically filter the data set and use it in visualization. That's what your answer should be, right? You got it?
Yeah.
So the way we have created this first name, no, in the similar way, you can uh, uh, go to the manage parameter and you can create any parameter. You have option here, right? Under type, you can use date, time, decimal, text, anything you can create using that parameter. But I don't see a point of creating parameter to filter the data, because it's always better to use filter options, which is like our basic thing that we do in each of the dashboard, this filter option, right? So yeah, this is what it was for regarding this. Don't worry about all these questions that much. These are like few questions they will ask, which is like very rarely used, just to uh, make you feel that, okay, I don't know anything, but don't worry about all those things. Yeah, so I think we have covered most of the things. What else is remaining? Let me see.
Gateway. Can we discuss about
Okay,
gateway?
gateway, right? So premises gateway, I think, uh, again, this is a very basic concept that is there regarding premises gateway. Premises gateway, basically, I'll talk about how gateway works, right? So basically, there is something called on-premise data source, wherein uh, the on-premise and this gateway, on-premise data gateway, basically this acts as a bridge. So what happens? There is a cloud, Microsoft Cloud Services, right? And there's something which on-premise data source means you have your data source in the in the organization, like you inside uh, you keep your databases in organization, right? So you have database stored somewhere for your organization, and there is something called cloud. Now you want to basically connect or uh, have those data sources that is there stored in your database using or transfer that into cloud or something like that, right? So by using a gateway, an organization can keep the databases and other data source on their on-premise network while securely using that on-premise data in cloud services, right? So what happens? Usually nowadays people store the data sets in the cloud, right? By cloud, I mean there is some, like cloud is again a very vast concept. So don't worry about all those things. Just remember that by using a on-premise data gateway, any organization can keep the databases in their on-premise network, basically the network which each employee can access while securely using that cloud services. So this is a gateway kind of thing which will basically uh, connect your data sources within the organization and the cloud, right? So this is a not sure. So this on-premise, how to explain? On-premise data gateway allows multiple users to connect to on-premise data sources, right? And you can install gateways and all those things in your system. So let's say if you want to answer what do you understand by on-premise data gateway, you can just tell that by using a on-premise data gateway, an organization can have their databases and any other data sources on their network, which is like on their network means on-premise network means that network is accessible only to the employees, like no other person can access the organizational network, right? So by using a gateway, an organization can keep database and other data sources on their premises, on-premise network, while securely using the data in the cloud services. That is what the data gateway does, right? So this is a very basic theoretical thing, and you can actually install that gateway and all those things you can do. Uh, but yeah, that thing I think as a Power BI developer, like I have not done it actually. You can actually download, install gateway on your computer and do configure all these things. But like I have not done it actually. I just know as a concept, like what does gateway, what is the uh, on-premise gateway, like what is the functionality of that, but I have not actually installed it or set up it, so I'm not very familiar with how to actually do it on your system, right? Any question?
Can you say anything about Dataverse?
So all these things I'll take in the interview session, right? Because all these questions that you guys are asking, I think this is for the interview prep, right? So these are the things that is like very not that generic. So all these things we will discuss in maybe interview prep that we will do, right? There will be multiple few small concepts that will be there. So I'll cover that over there.
Oh, one of my question wasn't answered, so I just asked
Yeah,
about.
sure. Yep. I'll cover that. I will do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Any more questions? I think these were the questions that we thought of discussing right today. So I think we are almost done. Now, you asked Akililu, Power BI bookmark and page navigation, right?
Yes.
Okay. So page navigation is something uh, you can actually navigate through Power BI page navigation. That means you can go from one page to the another using Power BI page navigation. Uh, Recently, like so earlier people used to use bookmark to basically use go through one page to another, and bookmark is page navigation is the sole purpose of page navigation to navigate from one page to the another, right? But bookmark will help you create a page and then create insights also, insights and recommendations and all those things, right? So the book with bookmark in Power BI desktop, you can actually navigate, plus you can have you can use this thing in the while creating insights and recommendations and all those things, right? So the sole purpose of page navigation is to navigate from one page to the another, but the sole purpose of bookmark is not only to navigate from one page to another. Using bookmarks you can do a lot of like you can have number of things, you can do number of other things using bookmarks. Now if you want to ask the difference between bookmarks and page navigation, uh, let me actually tell you like what are the other differences between bookmark and page navigation, or how we can differentiate it. Just a moment. I'm just seeing like how to actually show you, but because let's say this one, right? This is a navigation, the back button. this will navigate you to the previous page, right? So in the navigation, what you can do is like you can have a button and then you can directly navigate it. But in bookmark, what you do, you create several bookmarks over here, and you can link it to link your any particular page to that bookmark, and then you can navigate to that particular uh, page using the bookmark, right? But now what is the difference between both? Let me actually like how to actually explain, because I can use bookmark in creating like insights and all those things, right? Recommendations, insights, like if basis on whatever data you are seeing here, right? What we do, we create a page wherein like for that particular dashboard you will have all the recommendations. Like if you share this dashboard to your client or anyone, you will have all the recommendations and insights coming here. So bookmark is pretty useful over there. I'm just seeing like how to actually explain the difference over here to you. Mm-mm. I will actually create one bookmark and page navigator for you, Aklilu, and then I can discuss it with you. So basically bookmark is also a navigator kind of thing only, and page navigator is also to navigate from one page to the other. Okay. So I will actually create both of those, and then I'll tell you the difference, like how both are independent of each other. Both are used to actually navigate only from one page to another, but there will be slight difference between page navigator and bookmark navigator. I will actually have something over here and then I'll show you. Okay.
Okay.
For now, just understand that like both bookmark navigate, like both bookmark and page navigation is used for the navigation purpose, but there will be slight difference that I will actually create it over here for you, and then we will discuss that. Like I'll tell you that. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So any questions in today's class?
One more question. I'm sorry about
Yeah,
that.
go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm going to create like the major column and parameter, and it's a company that don't have like what is the formula to create those things. So instead of creating everybody creating different ways, so how
Mhm.
to figure out those things. So they have like a common formula instead of creating everything.
Common formula to create measures that we have created over here.
No, I understand that one. No, I just the general question to ask you. If you were hiring one, if you were working a company, so the
Mhm.
company has own formula, right?
Okay, so I'll tell you what happens. The formula will be same. Let's say somebody wants to calculate total profit, right? So profit will always be revenue minus cost. That means whatever cost you have actually invested, like whatever money you have invested and whatever the returns, like total revenue you generated, subtraction of that will be profit. Or else let's say somebody add few more things, but this is the generic definition of the profit, right? So any organization, if you are working in, they will give you the definition of each of the KPIs,
Oh,
and
that's
then
one.
yeah, and then using that definition you can create the measures. So measures you can create in very different way, like total profit is very simple measure that you can, everybody will do total revenue minus total cost, right? But if there is some complex measure that you have to create, then you can create in many other ways. But just a moment, but the definition will be given by your organization or your client.
Okay,
Right?
that's all. I got
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Any more question, anyone?
Um, I don't know if it's too late for you, but I just wanted to know what are the data flows in Power BI?
Yeah, I can talk about that. So in why do we use data flows, right? First of all, so data flows basically enable anyone to uh, ingest the data. Ingest means import the data, transform the data, and then load the data into your Power BI, right? So basically, what do you understand by data flow? Data flow is something, somebody dropped off. Yeah. So data flow is kind of data transformation component of Power BI, right? So what it does is data transformation means it includes ingestion, transformation, and then loading the data, right? So there are basically in Power BI, the data flows, let me actually check, but basically data flows means how your data is flowing, right? What do you understand by data flow? So how your data is flowing. By data flowing means from where you are picking your data, how you are transforming your data, right? And basically at the end, how you are modeling your data. So all those things, the entire process is called as data flow, right? So is this what you asked?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So basically, this is what we have. Yeah, go ahead.
So it's the flow of the data where it actually comes from and then the whole transformation. I just want to better understand it. I'm just repeating what I understand from what you said.
Okay,
Correct me
so
if I'm wrong.
data flow is what do you understand by data flow, right? So data flow, we have here collections of like multiple tables over here, right? So how we have created this multiple tables? We have ingested, like we have imported all these files. We have basically transform the data and then load the data, right? So a data flow is basically a collection of tables that we see. The entire process that I'm talking about is a data flow. So the entire collection of tables, the way that are created and managed. So how we have created it, imported and then transformed and then loaded, right? So data flow is a collection of tables that are created and managed in this Power BI Power BI works like Power BI modeling tab, right? So um, you can create a data flow by defining all these, like by defining all these tables that is there. Usually like the data flow that we create, right? We do like we have this in Power BI service. So in Power BI service, basically you define all the tables and then you create a data flow, like how basically all the data will flow, how the connection will work, right? How you will link different tables and create a flow. So that happens over there. Here, if you want to understand, that means like the way we have imported, transformed, loaded, and have a collection of tables and this relationship, like this is a kind of data flow that is there, right? So if data flow you want to understand, you can just understand that this is a collection of tables that are created and managed in the workspace. That is what you can understand.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, fine. So I think one question, maybe Aklilu, I can cover any time, like the exact definition, difference between bookmark and navigation page. But for now, you can understand it. Both work in very similar way. There's something called bookmark navigator through which you can navigate to different page, and there's something called page navigator through which also you can navigate. But there will be like slight difference between both of those. So I'll like whenever we or maybe I can send it, or I know we will connect again. So I'll tell you at that point of time, like what is the exact difference. I'll create something here and then we can discuss that thing. Apart from that, I think we have covered most of the things, right? So this is what we had. Uh,
I have
I
one
think,
question, Mia. If you don't mind.
yeah, go ahead, City.
Can you tell me about query folding? Do you know?
Folding is very different concept. I can talk about it. People generally use it in interview questions, and so I will talk about it in the interview prep session, right?
So
We
do we
will
have
have
any
those.
other session that we can connect, or which session are you talking about? Do we have
No,
any work class?
yeah, so query prep session, if you want to connect, like very nominal charge, $20 per hour, that will be there. So I'll talk about all the interview questions that usually people ask, right?
Um,
So these
can
query
you tell
folding,
us the concept of the just the concept of what is the query folding,
yeah,
like,
sure.
and
I can
also
talk about
what
that.
kind of
I can
thing we
talk
can
about
use
that. Yeah,
to
quickly I can ask right now. So query folding is a concept in which what happens, the Power Query, right? The here we use Power Query, query editor, right? So that Power Query uh, generate a single query statement that retrieve and transform source data, right? So query folding is ability for a Power Query. So to explain it, like it will take little longer, but you can just understand in one sentence that what it does is Power BI has an ability to actually generate a single query statement. So how it does it is using some mashup engine or something. There is some engine in the backend in which it creates a single SQL statement. So how it works is if you write, let's say, M query, right? There's an option called M query. Writing using blank query, you can write M query. So what it does, it will combine all the M queries into a single statement using some backend mashup engine that is inbuilt in here in Power Query. So the ability to create a single SQL statement by combining all the M statements inside your Power BI is known as query folding. So this is a concept in which, so uh, query folding works with M statement and all those things, right? So in that, it will actually combine multiple M statements and it will create a SQL statement. This entire process is known as query folding. Not that widely used, but people ask sometimes in interview questions. Even I have seen that people asking in multiple. I was sitting with 2, 3 folks, so they were asking what is query folding. So this is like simple concept that you can tell. I can talk about it more, like exact how it works and everything. But yeah, for now, like if you want one-liner kind of thing, you can uh, tell that query folding is the ability of the uh, Power BI in which it will combine multiple M queries, M codes, and give you a single SQL statement. Uh, yeah, that's it. That is the entire process is known as query folding.
so we use query folding for to enhance the performance. For
We
what
can use.
purpose are we using?
Yes, yes, yes. So using query folding, you can actually uh, not enhance the performance, but what happens if you create query folding? Like if you create, let's say you have like multiple ME statement connected, combined and created one SQL statement, it will be little faster that every time it will be created on its like refresh, it will automatically refresh and then it will be little faster. So it improves your refresh time using query folding. Like it will be little faster compared to the normal dashboard that is there. So if you have large database, like, right, and you want to refresh your you want to improve your refresh time and all those things, then you can use this query folding. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions in today's class? I think we have covered a lot of things today. These are actually whatever we discussed, no, right, today. These are the questions people ask in interviews, except that parameterized thing I have never heard people asking. I don't know, like maybe Hanan, for you, they might have asked, but
That's been asked a few times actually.
got it. So might sometimes they might ask, but import mode, direct mode, snowflake, starflake, what else? And then query folding. These are things I have seen people asking. So yeah. Okay, guys, I think we are on time now, like over time actually. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll share this. What happened actually? Where all the I actually messed up with the visualization. I put something here. I'll actually adjust this and I'll send it over. So yeah, I'll send this dashboard to you guys and upload the this thing um, video and regarding anything else like SQL or anything else, Hanan, we can discuss on WhatsApp. Uh, Charges will be $20 per hour, like the way it works for you guys there. And
For what?
regarding interview prep or anything like, so the class is over today. And then if you want to have like SQL class or any interview prep class, or if you want me to sit in any interview with you guys, so that we can discuss separately, right? So I will actually,
$20 per hour for, is it for interview class